chapter 14 of Bhagavad Gita, and we'll pick up a verse number 57 from chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita. We already have the reading order well defined, I guess, somewhere, so you know who's supposed to go in first.
Yeah,
And
I will just announce the reading order, Mataji.
you're going to announce it. Thank you, Kathy Mataji.
Vindhyavali Mataji.
Yes, Amma.
Mataji. Then Varshana Mataji. Then Sutappa Mataji. Archana Mataji. Namazya Mataji. Then I will read, and then back to Vindhyavali Mataji.
Who is after me? I thought you.
Sukomal Radhe Mataji. And then before you, it's my turn. So it resets again. After me, you have to read.
Yeah, but your name is there after Shraddha Mataji again, you
know? My name is after Namazya Mataji, and then after me, it's again you, back to you. And then after you, it's Sukomal Radhe Mataji.
Oh, okay.
And whosoever joins, I will add them like between Namazya Mataji and me. So.
Oh, in this, I'm not getting right order. I don't know what is this. Participants only. Okay. I don't know how to get that order, Mataji.
Okay, so you should get in touch with Sutapa Mataji outside of the class, and then she will be happy to walk you through. Okay.
Okay.
If that doesn't help, if that doesn't help, then we'll have somebody else help you.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Good, because it'll be good for you to have that knowledge. Yeah. Okay.
Chapter 14, the 3 modes of material nature. Hare Krishna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said again, I shall declare to you the supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all the sages have attained the supreme perfection. Text 2, by becoming fixed in this knowledge, one can attain to the transcendental nature like my own. Thus established, one is not born at the time of creation or disturbed at the time of dissolution. Sutapa Mataji, Sukumala Mataji.
Yeah, thank you. Text 3. The total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings, O son of Bharata. Text 4. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. Varshanam.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Material nature consists of 3 modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. When the eternal living entity comes in contact with nature, O mighty armed Arjuna, he becomes conditioned by these modes. Text 6. O sinless one, the mode of goodness being purer than the others is illuminating, and it frees one from the sinful reactions. Those situated in that mode become conditioned by the sense of happiness and knowledge. Hare Krishna. Sutapa Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Take 7. The mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings, O son of Kunti. And because of this, the embodied living entity is bound to material fruitive actions. Text 8. O son of Bharata, know that the mode of darkness born of ignorance is the delusion of all embodied living entities. The results of this mode are madness, indolence, and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul. Archana Mataji.
Yeah, thank you, Sutapa Mataji. Text 9. O son of Bharata, the mode of goodness conditions one to happiness, passion conditions one to fruitive action, and ignorance covering one's knowledge binds one to madness. Text 10. Sometimes the mode of goodness becomes prominent, defeating the modes of passion and ignorance. O son of Bharata, sometimes the mode of passion defeats goodness and ignorance, and at other times, ignorance defeats goodness and passion. In this way, there is always competition for supremacy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Namaste Mataji.
Text 11. The manifestation of the The manifestation of the mood of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge. Text 12. O chiefs of the Bharatas, when there is an increase in the mood of passion, the symptoms of great attachment, fructiferous activity, intense endeavor, and uncontrollable desire and hankering develop. Hare Krishna. I guess is I don't know who is next.
It's my turn, Mataji. But Sulekha Mataji, will you be able to read?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, so go ahead and read.
Text 13. When there is I think it's text 13, right?
13.
When there is an increase in the mode of ignorance, O son of Kuru, darkness, inertia, madness, and illusion are manifested. Text 14. When one dies in the mode of goodness, he attains to the pure higher planets of the great sages. Hare Krishna.
Text 15. When one dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activities. And when one dies in a mode of ignorance, he takes birth in the animal kingdom. Text 16. The result of pious action is pure and is said to be in the mode of goodness. But action done in the mode of passion results in misery, and action performed in the mode of ignorance results in foolishness. Vidyavali Mataji, back to you.
Mataji, can you scroll it a little bit, please? From the mode of goodness, real knowledge gradually go upward to the higher planets.
From the mode of goodness, real knowledge develops.
Okay.
This one.
From the mode of goodness, real knowledge develops. From the mode of passion, greed develops. From the mode of ignorance develops foolishness, madness, and illusion. Those situated in the mode of goodness gradually go upward to the higher planets. Those in the mode of passion live on the earthly planets, and those in the abominable mode of ignorance go down to the hellish worlds. Sulekha Mataji. Kombala Mataji.
Yeah, thank you. Text 19. When one properly sees that in all activities no other performer is at work than these modes of nature, and he knows the Supreme Lord who is transcendental to all these modes, he attains my spiritual nature. Text 20. When the embodied being is able to transcend these three modes associated with the material body, he can become free from birth, death, old age, and their distresses, and can enjoy nectar even in this life. Varshana Mata.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Text 21. Arjuna inquired, O my dear Lord, by which symptom is one who is transcendental to these three modes? What is his behavior and how does he transcend the mode of nature? Text 22 to 25. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O son of Pandu, he who does not hate illumination, attachment, and delusion, when they are present or long for when they are present or long for them when they disappear, who is unwavering and undisturbed through all these reactions of material qualities, remaining neutral and transcendental, knowing that the mode alone are active, who is situated in the self and regard alike happiness and distress, who looks upon lump of earth, a stone, and a piece of gold with an equal eye, who is equal toward the desirable and the undesirable, who is steady, situated equally well in praise and blame, honor and dishonor, who treats alike both friend and enemy, and who has renounced all material activities. Such a person is said to have transcended the modes of nature. Hare Krishna Mataji. Sutapa Mataji.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Shraddha Mataji, will you please
Yeah.
scroll up a little
Yeah,
bit?
I'm scrolling. Yeah. Sorry.
Thank you, Mataji. Text 26. One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Text 27. And I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitution position of ultimate happiness.
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol. Hare Krishna.
Alrighty, tell us what you guys said. What you liked, what you did not like.
I want to hear what 21 one more time, Mataji.
You have to pay extra.
No problem. No problema.
All right, so I'm going to text you my routing number. So what is text 21 and why do you want to hear that again?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay, so let's just share this screen again so that Vidyavati Mataji will now know what text 21 is.
I have here book.
You look at that, you will tell us why you want to hear. Who read 21?
I think last time we did.
I read my
Varshana
Yeah.
Mataji. Yeah.
Okay. So
I read it. Mataji.
please read it again.
Arjuna inquired, "O my dear Lord, by which symptom is one known who is transcendental to these modes? What is his behavior and how does he transcend the mode of nature?"
Vindhyavali Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Here, your words, free of cost.
So, this is what. Hare Krishna.
Go ahead, I can hear you, Mataji.
So, which symptoms is known, who is transcendental to these three modes? So, what is that? So, what is his behavior and how that transcends the modes of nature? I don't know what to explain, Mataji. Please tell me.
I'm just taking some medicine. Yeah, so you're saying you don't understand these words? Is that what the question is?
I'm not able to explain. I don't know. It's half I understood, but I don't know how to put it.
Okay. So this particular chapter is, now you answer my questions. This chapter is talking about what?
Three modes of material nature.
Right? And are we material?
We are in material world.
No, are you material or not?
I don't know.
Okay, let's ask this question to somebody else in the class. Okay, so are you material or spiritual?
We are the soul, we are not
material. No?
Question was asked to Sutapa, so she's supposed to.
Yes, Mataji, I think we are still material. Going to taking the devotional stuff and going to that spiritual thing.
Okay,
Going,
let's
not
listen to what Namas. Okay, then let's listen to what Namazya is saying. Namazya, are you spiritual or are you material?
I'm a spiritual because I'm not the body, I'm the soul.
I'm the soul. Okay, so Kumal Radhe Mataji, you are spiritual or you are material?
I'm material.
You are material? Okay, let's take a vote.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Okay, so right now, two people think they're material.
Hare.
And one
I also
thinks Vindhyavali is also material. Okay, so Sukumal Radhe, Vindhyavali Mataji, Sudhapa, they think they are material. Namazya.
I also think we are material, Mataji.
Okay, Sulekha thinks she's material. So there's 4.
Mataji, I think I'm spiritual.
Okay.
I'm bound in material body.
Okay, you're spiritual in a material body. So 2 votes for spiritual. Hold on. Let me count. 2 votes for I'll come to you, Varchana Mataji. I'm going through all of them, all of you, right? Okay, so we have got 3 votes, 4 votes for I'm material, and 2 votes for I'm spiritual. Now let's hear what Archana Mataji has to say. I'm going by the order in which you show on my dashboard.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranams. Hare Krishna to all the devotees.
One line answer.
Yeah, Mataji, I could not greet everyone. That's why I said right now.
One line answer.
Yeah,
That's
Mataji.
now.
I'm spiritual.
Please.
Mataji. I'm
Three,
spiritual.
very good. Okay, so three for spiritual, 4 for material. Varshana Mataji, tell us
We are
one line
we are
answer.
spiritual. We are spiritual as we are part and parcel of the Lord.
All right, so 4 for spiritual, 4 for material. Khyati Mataji, you can swing the vote in either directions, Republicans or Democrats.
Say duality, right? We are spiritual, but with mind and body and our senses, we experience material things only. We haven't experienced the spiritual being yet.
Okay, so then you are saying that we are spiritual, right? We are
Yes.
covered by material. So there are 5 for
Or
spiritual, 4 for material. I'm just happy
I would say transcendental.
that my efforts for so many months did not go wasted. Who are you? Right?
We are
Remember,
the
we
soul.
did that
We are the soul, so we
why did you
should be
answer that I'm
spiritual.
material? Why did you say that I'm
No,
material?
no, but we
Yes,
know
Mataji,
we are the soul, but
because
we are
we
in a
thought,
material
sorry,
body.
yeah.
Just say it again, say it again.
See, what you're saying is that yeah, I know I'm Shraddha, but I live in this home, so that's why I am this home. Right? Who you are
We are
is
soul,
the
not
truth.
the
Yeah,
body.
you are the soul, not the body. That is who you are. Okay, so this modes of material nature in chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita that we are reading right now, that is what Arjuna is being told by Krishna, right? Now, the reality, as Khyati Mataji has said, was that we are souls, and then some of you also said that we are souls, and then we are
We are wrapped
encaged,
in.
wrapped in this body, and because of false identification, right? Right?
Yeah.
And ahankara, the wrong, right?
Yes.
I think that I am this body.
Yeah.
So the single answer will be I'm a soul, but I think I'm this body. I'm spiritual, but I think under false ego, I think I'm material. That's the correct, precise answer, right? Like that.
Hmm.
So keep that in mind. Remember, we did that exercise and we'll do it again quickly, just for some fun. All of you, close your eyes. And on whenever I say and whatever I ask you to do, please do that. Okay? Close your eyes, touch your ears, touch your nose, touch your cheek, touch your shoulder, touch your hand, touch your knees, touch your head, touch your forehead, touch your shoulder, touch your little finger, touch yourself. There you go. See, that is who you
There, I
are.
got it.
You cannot touch. You cannot touch yourself, right? Because you cannot touch the soul with your transcendental hand, with your material hands. Okay? So remember that is the essence, that is the truth, that you are the soul. So back again to the question of text number 21, which Vindhyavali Mataji is asking us. And so I was telling her that this is a more, this is a chapter on material. And the question was, are you material or spiritual? So hold on, just some important thing has come up. So yeah, so we think because of the false ego, we think that we are this body. And so this verse that you brought up, Vindhyavali Mataji, that so Krishna is saying that when before that, Krishna is saying in text number 20, when the embodied being, who is the embodied being? You are the embodied being. You are a being because you exist. But you are embodied. You are inside this material body. So the embodied mean is able to transcend these three modes. You're able to, go beyond this material board, because this material board keep on acting on me and make me think. The false ego is also material. It makes me think that I am this body. So he will be able to transcend this the material body. He can become, when he is able to do that, he can become free from birth, death, old age, and disease. Because by thinking that I am this body, I think that I am going to die. Right? How many times a day do we think I'm going to die? Someone is going to die. Because we are associating that, this person is a body. So we'll say this person died, this person is going to die, this person might die, like that. So so what, just let me just get rid of this call. Yeah, so we're saying that you have to transcend that mode. You have to get out of that situation, where you're thinking that I'm this body and you're thinking that I'm material, you're thinking that I'm going to die, or Bhishma Pitama is going to die, my grandfather is going to die. You have to get out of that. So that is known as transcending these modes. Transcend means to go beyond these modes, to do something better, right? So he can, and then once you do that, you become free from all these four distresses that you have. And once you know that you're never going to die, then even in this life, even while you're embodied, you are inside this body, you will enjoy life, because the four things that are listed there, birth, death, old age, and disease, these are the things that give us grief all the time. Once you're beyond that, then the sources of misery are gone. So you can be happy even here in this material world. So then Arjuna, in your verse, Mataji is asking that by what symptoms, how will I know that Vindhyavali Mataji has transcended? Because she'll still, to me, she'll still look the same, right? Just because you have transcended the modes of material nature doesn't mean you get a halo around your head. You'll still look like an ordinary person, right? Srila Prabhupada looked normal to us, right? Like same eyes, same tongue, same teeth, like that, right? So Arjuna is asking that, how do you know such a person? How do I know? Because, looking at them, nothing is going to change. So they won't have different eyes, different, ears, anything. So then obviously the behavior has got to be different, right? So then he's asking the question that, that number one, how does he look like? What is his behavior? And the second thing is that how do I get to that place, right? Which is a very fantastic question. Krishna is saying that you transcend the modes of material nature. So how do I get there? And once I get there, how do I know? How do I know? If I look at Suptapa, how do I know that Suptapa is transcendental or not? I will look at her behavior. And there was this whole big verse that Vaishana Mataji was lucky to read today, right? Do you remember what were some of the things that Krishna described there as symptoms of that person?
Yeah.
Who does not get affected by honor or dishonor, who
Very
does not
good.
hate illumination,
Yeah.
attachment when they are
Mm,
there.
mm, mhm, mhm. Yes. What about gold?
Gold and store are equal to his
Stone,
eyes,
gold, and earth.
Right. Right.
equal to the eyes.
To
Right.
the same.
Right. Right. Situated very well in praise, honor, dishonor. You remember chapter 12 of Bhagavad Gita? Sama shatrau cha mitrecha tatha man apamana yuko. Right?
Mm.
Man and apman, both the places we are the same, right? Sama shatrau cha mitrecha. Shatru and mitra, enemy and friend, we are same. What does the word say here? Treats alike both friends and enemy. So there's a lot of repetition in Bhagavad Gita, and that repetition is being done to emphasize these things. If somebody is repeating the same thing again and again, there has to be some value. That's
Mm.
why that person is repeating.
Yeah.
So Krishna will have these repetitions all over Bhagavad Gita like that, right? And so that is how he's going to behave. And then there were two questions that Arjun has asked, right? Three actually. By what symptom is he known? What is his behavior? And how does he transcend these modes of nature, right? So when we come to how does he transcend the modes of nature, then he gives the answer, and you know the answer. How do you transcend? How will you go beyond this material nature? You'll take a flight.
Simply,
How will you go beyond material nature, Archana? Tell me. You know it.
Yeah, Mataji, once when you are able to do devotional service unfailing in all the circumstances,
Yeah,
then you are in the modes of
right.
material.
Right. The only thing that can take you beyond this mode of material nature is devotional service. Now question for you. Is devotional service, all of you, is devotional service a material activity or a transcendental activity?
Transcendental.
Transcendental activity, Mataji.
And Prabhupada gives a very nice example of an iron rod in fire. What example does he give? Anybody remember? Iron rod and fire.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji,
go ahead, Vaishana Mataji.
when the iron rod is put into the fire, that also becomes fire.
Behaves like
So
fire, becomes like
behaves
fire,
like fire.
right? So
Yeah.
now, when a body is engaged in devotional service, what will happen to the body?
Becomes transcendental.
Become transcendental.
Transcendental, right? So that is how you will transcend the modes of material nature. How does a transcendental
Yes.
body look like here in this material world? It'll look the same. It'll look the same. In general, it'll look the same, right? But then these people who are loaded with devotional service, they look different. They look different
They
in the
look
sense that they
different,
won't,
Mataji.
yeah, they won't have different eyes or different nose, but they will have a glow on them, you know.
Glow on their
They'll have
face.
a presence and a glow. And people who saw Prabhupada used to say he looked golden. See, he had that, you know, he was not a white person. He was not golden in color either. He was, you know, dark complexion, but he had that glow that came out from him that gave him shades of gold, you know. So they are different, but when I say they are not different, I mean they will still look like human beings, and then
And
they
the
won't have, you
vibes
know,
is always good.
effulgence coming. Sorry,
The vibe is very good, Mataji, means
it's good.
when they are around you.
Yes, they exude some kind of a vibration that affects everybody. Yeah.
Yes,
Arjuna
Mataji.
is asking that how will that happen? How will I reach that stage? How does a person look like, and things like that.
Mataji, I just wanted to small thing like started means maybe not so many years, but we are doing the devotion service. So as soon as we started, the body became transcendental, or after a few years, whenever we reach a state, like
Yeah, it's an imperceptible change. It's an imperceptible change. You cannot perceive it, but the change begins right from the beginning. Right when you start doing, the first layer of dust starts to fall off. You might not see it because it is imperceptible. For example, how when the sun is hidden behind the clouds, and if you go and sit outside, you'll still get sunburned. Although you're not able to perceive the sun is imperceptible, but the effect of the sun will still be on your body. So similarly, although you're not able to see the changes immediately, you know, you might still get angry, you might still get, you know, not behave, not exhibit all these nice things that are being listed. You might still like gold, for example. Then, but slowly, it'll happen. And that is why they say that it's good thing to write a journal, something that you can keep private though, right? Write a journal, and then you go back and look at what your thoughts were 5 years ago and what your thoughts are now. How you look at things, how you looked at things previously, how you looked at somebody insulting you previously, and now how do you look at the same thing? There's a change. It comes slowly but surely. It'll come. Is that a hand that you're raising, Varshana Mataji, or a finger?
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
Mataji. Mataji, I heard, thank you so much, Mataji, giving me a chance.
Thank you, Mishma.
Mataji, I heard a lecture of Srila Prabhupada yesterday, and it was fantastic, Mataji. He said, your spiritual master will sometimes chastise you because he wants you to come to follow the path he wants you to follow. So listen to him. Don't be distressed. Don't feel so. Mother, I really like it. Really like that.
Yeah, this is very, very important. A couple of things, and one of the first thing is to consider, and one of the offenses to the holy name. One of the offenses to chanting the holy name is to think that your spiritual master is an ordinary person, and it can happen very, very quickly.
Yes, yeah, he said this also, Mataji. He said this exactly.
Yeah.
That's also he said.
So,
Don't
and
think
like
he
I was
was
saying
an
yesterday, that
ordinary
it's a
person.
spiritual, yeah, like I said yesterday, that it's a spiritual master's duty. It's a spiritual master's duty to keep on telling the disciple, and he might have to scold him. And disciple, the word disciple comes from discipline. And how do you discipline? Sometimes you have to raise your voice, right? So it's entirely up to the disciple, you know, and it's the mood of the disciple, the mood of the student, on how do they want to take to the teacher, right? If they think the teacher is somebody that, you know, who should be catering to my whims and my desires and whatever my behavior is, and, you know, I'll come sit in the class with my feet on the table, the teacher should accept it, you know, then what are they going to get out of that session? What will they learn? Nothing. They just had their way for the 30 minutes or an hour that they sat in the class. They came with some knowledge and they departed with the same knowledge. They came with a certain attitude, they agreed
Same
with
knowledge.
the same attitude. Nothing, there's nothing to gain for them. It's a waste of money. They paid money to come to that class, right? Like that. But on the other hand, when a person, you know, feels at a low level, right, and goes with humility, tadvidi paripatena pariprashnena sevaya, right, goes with that humble approach that I'm here to learn something, and I have an open mind. I'm willing to let you pour things inside my head, and and respect the spiritual master. That of course spiritual masters, the ones who are there to give you diksha, they are not from this world. We are beyond this world. So we are so lucky. And again, you can't see them. You can't distinguish between them. They'll have one nose, two eyes, like that. But so a lot depends on the attitude of the student. And when the student exhibits that attitude, then knowledge is going to flow automatically because all the constrictions are removed and those blockages and the blockages are there in the head. And you'll be very surprised. And when I say head, I mean in the mind. And the mind is so powerful when it comes to blockage, right? For example, can you give me of an example in blockages that you face in your day-to-day life? Okay, listen to this question clearly. What are the blockages that one can face in your day-to-day life? And I'll give you a hint. A blockage in the kitchen. What could be a blockage that you could encounter in the kitchen?
The sink, Mataji.
Absolutely. Sulaika Mataji has just recently gotten her house redone, so she knows about blockages and things like that. So sink can get blocked. Okay. If you are on a row, okay, so how do you get rid of that blockage in the sink?
You put in degreaser or you call a contractor.
There you go, right? So you put in a degreaser, you call in the plumber or whoever, right? But you're able to overcome that, right? Okay. Now, suppose you're driving. Can you get some blockage?
Yeah, something can go wrong with the car.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
check engine light can come on.
All right. Yeah. But can something be on the road that blocks you?
Yeah, the
Yeah. There are,
road, there is a detour or something, so road is blocked.
The road is blocked. So you can divert, you can always take a diversion and then continue on your journey, right? So these are all physical blockages. Physical blockages, they're there, right? Now, they're gross blockages. Now, there are subtle blockages also. These subtle blockages are in your mind. I cannot do this. I will never be able
yes,
to go back
Mataji.
to Godhead. I am no good. Those kind of blockages, which are subtle, are very difficult to remove. And that is why they say that subtle is more powerful than the gross. Lowest is the dull matter. Above the matter are the senses. Above the senses is the mind. Above the mind is the intelligence. And above the intelligence is the
Soul.
soul. Come on, work with me. What happened? And above the soul is in your
Super
body,
soul.
super soul. There you go. Right? So the blockages are there.
So, Mataji, if we think that we cannot go back to the Godhead, we don't have that kind of quality. So that is not good.
Yes, it's a negative feeling. Yeah, negative is no good. Because then once you have that mind is there, right? The mind controls the senses. So the mind itself is saying that you will never go back to Godhead. And the mind is not going to suggest to you that get up in the morning and chant. If you sit down to chant, mind is again going to tell you what's the use of this. You're not going to go back to Godhead, right? Anything you do, the mind will tell you that I'm going to go back to Godhead. But you as the soul can override the mind and say, no, I am going to, I'm determined. I wrote it in my journal. I am going to go back to God and I am making my endeavor. I don't care how many lifetimes it takes, but I will go there one day because that is what my spiritual master told me. That is what Prabhupada says, right? Because the moment you take to devotional service, remember, you are at a fork and you have taken the right choice. You have gone on the right road, which will lead you to the right destination. Now, it doesn't, now you could be taking a longer time, right? You could be on a bullock cart and then somebody is on a Ferrari and swishes by you. Those kind of things will happen. But you made the right decision. You went on this road, which is going to take you to Godhead. You did not take the other road, which would take you to hell, like that. So you are here on the right path. Now, while you're on the path, again, some blockages can come. There could be some detours, right? But that's okay as long as you are still headed in this direction. As long as you don't take a detour and go and join the other road. As long as you are here. stoppages, blockages, detours, confusions, questions, all that is okay. But don't leave, don't change your direction, right? So there can be fall downs, but you get back up, start walking again. There will be blockages. Fine, we go over them. We take help, right? Like Sukumal Radhe Mati was saying, your car can get stalled. What do I do if the car gets stalled? Call AAA. So similarly, your spiritual master is your AAA. You call their spiritual master. And if you don't have one, then get one. Like that. Okay. So now my question is that, are we ready for Bhagavad Gita 2.57?
Hare Krishna Mataji, may I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Mataji, yesterday, Sutapa Mataji had come up with you say circle of concern and circle of influence. I just wanted your explanation a little on this.
Good. Very, very good. Because 2.57 is going to talk a little, is going to allude to that a little bit. So should we go to 2.77 and cover circle there, Prashana Mataji?
Yes.
Okay, now
Yes,
who's done
yes, sure, Mataji.
And I see Adi Mataji has joined us, and I don't know, Kathy, are you redoing the reading order, or what's the stake? Is Kathy still with us?
Yes, Mataji, I already asked her. She said she'll listen. So
you listen?
But she's free to change the opinion.
She's free to change the opinion. All right, but we have only one verse to read today. So, well, let's see how it goes. Okay, who's in line to read now?
It's me, Mataji.
I.
I.
Okay.
I was about to.
Go ahead, Archana. Go ahead. I can take.
But you haven't shared it.
I'm not able to see the screen, Mataji.
Aha. You don't know it by heart now, Archana?
No, Mataji.
Okay, there you go. You should memorize this. I know by tomorrow she will do it and she'll be writing to me and reciting to me. I know her very well. Okay, go ahead, Archana.
Yeah. Bhagavad Gita 2.57. Yaha sarvatrani sneha tat prapya shubha shubham nabhi nandati na dveshti tasya prajna pratisthita.
Very nice.
Thank you, Mataji.
Next.
Synonyms.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Did I read the synonyms?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay. Yaha, one who, sarvatra, everywhere, anavishnehaha, without affection, that, that, prapya, achieving, supa, good, asubam, evil, na, never, abhinanandati, praises, na, never, tuesti, envious, tasya, his, prajna, perfect knowledge, pratistita, fix it. Hare Krishna.
Next one, please.
Translation. I think I'm next.
Yes, Sulekha Mataji, your turn.
Yes, Sulekha.
Translation. In the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising it nor despising it, is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. Purport. There is always some upheaval in the material world, which may be good or evil. One who is not agitated by such material upheavals, who is unaffected by good and evil, is to be understood to be fixed in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. I think the next person can read.
Thank you, Mataji. As long as one is in the material world, there is always the possibility of good and evil because this world is full of duality. But one who is fixed in Krishna consciousness is not affected by good and evil because he is simply concerned with Krishna, who is all good absolute. Such consciousness in Krishna situates one in a perfect transcendental position called,
What?
I think,
The
concern in the world are gone, Mataji.
All the concerns in the world, in this world.
Okay, yeah, I did that on purpose, and we'll go back to the words again. Okay, so
called
there was
technically
the
Samadhi.
there was a mention over there about concerns. So
Yes.
I will just bring this up, and this way answer Vanshana Mataji's question also. So there are different kinds of concerns. Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead. I wanted to say something, but I can wait until later.
Okay.
No
Yeah,
problem.
yeah. I'll just take a few minutes because I have a stop at 8 o'clock. So all the concerns in this world, right? Can you give me some example of some concerns that you have, or you have seen? You have concerns, or you've seen other people have concerns.
Health concerns, Mataji.
Very good.
What will happen tomorrow?
Okay.
Yep.
To me, right?
Concerns.
Financial concerns.
I think social concerns also, Mataji. I see this a lot among my friend circle. There are groups and subgroups, and people are included and excluded, and that leads to a lot of concern.
All right.
Yeah.
Mataji, my concern is that will I be able to remember Lord at the time of death?
Okay. And any other concerns that you've seen people around you have?
Yes, people without work, people how they pay mortgage.
Right. Okay. So there are different kinds of concerns. Different types of people have different kinds of concerns, and we have different concerns at different times of the day, right? And so I'm just showing, and I'm putting all possible concerns in this world. I'm putting them in one box over here, right? And that is called as the yellow box. Do you see that yellow box? Yes or yes?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Yes, Mataji.
Only Sutapa has
Yes,
seen the yellow box. Others also
Yes,
see.
Mataji.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Mataji, we can.
All right. All right. I'm just checking to make sure you're with me. Okay. So out of all these concerns, you might not be concerned with all the concerns in the world, right? You might be concerned only with a subset of these. Okay. So out of the millions of concerns that are there, right? You might have 2,000 concerns that you're bothered with, right? Is Angela Jolie still married to Brad Pitt or not? Are you concerned with that, or are you not concerned with that?
No.
No,
Amitabh
Mataji.
Bachchan going to have a second baby? No, right? Like
No.
that. But that could be of a concern to somebody else, right? So all the concerns of world, there is a circle of concern for you, the things that you are concerned about. And then if you remove the circle, then whatever remains in this rectangle are the things that you are not concerned with this. Okay? So you now understand what is a circle of concern?
Yeah.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Yes, Mataji.
Now I can be concerned, I can be agitated, I can sit up, I can jump and shout and do things, right? And this particular verse is telling you about these things, that there'll be upheavals that'll happen in this world. This is material world, dukhalayam ashashvatam, guaranteed. 8.15 from Bhagavad Gita tells you that. So things will happen, right? And so I can get concerned about it, right? For example, there's an earthquake in Turkey. I can feel concerned about it. I can feel concerned about the people who are there. I can feel bad about it. I can, get into a bad mood, and then I can spread my bad mood around, right? It can happen because it's in my circle of concern. Now, for all the concerns that you have, right? Your concerns that are there, they could be health concerns. Am I going to be healthy? There could be social concerns. Am I going to belong to this group or not? There could be financial concerns. Am I going to become a millionaire or not? Will I have enough money to take care of myself in my old age? So you could have all kinds of concerns, right? Now, among all these concerns that you have, right, there is a smaller set of concern. Like of these 2,000 concerns that you have, there could be 150 concerns that you have control over. If something happened in Turkey, there's an earthquake predicted in Turkey, there's nothing you can do to prevent it, right? There's nothing you can do to prevent tsunamis in Japan when they come. You can be concerned about the people there, but you cannot influence it. You cannot change it. You cannot do anything to improve it. Okay? So that's subset. Now let's see. Health concern. Let's take the health concern. The concern is I want to stay healthy. Now there are certain things about health, being healthy, that are in your circle of influence that you can influence. What are some of the things that you can do to make sure that you remain healthy? Can you tell me?
By having
Proper diet.
Do some exercises.
Okay, one is exercise.
Eat
And what was Sukomal Radhe telling us,
Eat
Mataji?
the right amount of food. I mean,
properly.
Properly eating food. Okay, what else? Sutapa,
Exercise.
exercise. Okay, what else? So what you
Taking
eat,
medicine
Discipline.
properly if you need to.
sleeping properly, right? So you do all that, right? People exercise, they sleep properly, they eat properly, they do all this, but still the doctor comes and says, "Oh, you have cancer." The doctor, "Why do I have cancer?" "I think it's hereditary." So you see, what is hereditary for you is actually outside your circle of influence. You cannot do anything about it. It's hereditary. You cannot go and wipe out your heritage. You're born in this family. You got that body for a particular purpose, right? So that is something which is outside of your circle of influence. So when you are focusing on the blue area, right? So the circle of concern is everything. The blue and the green, both of them are circles of concern. But if you are thinking about this part of it, right, which is outside of the green, which is a portion that you cannot influence, if you are focusing on that, you can only worry about it. My uncle had cancer, my mother had cancer, my father has cancer. Oh my goodness, I'm also going to have cancer. There's nothing you can do about it other than worry because you don't know whether you're going to get it or not. You can only worry. But there are certain things that you can do which are in a circle of influence. You can do certain things to avoid those kind of cancers, right? If everybody died of liver cancer, you better make sure you don't drink alcohol. That's in your circle of influence, like that, right? So here everything is very, thank you for the applause. And here is the circle of influence, like that. Okay. So what we try to do is we try to increase our circle of influence. And how can you increase your circle of influence? Can you give me some?
How do we do that? Yes.
Yeah. How do you brainstorm? I want you to brainstorm on that. How do you think you can increase?
Like Mataji, if my liver is not functioning properly, I must stop drinking if I am drinking. Like, and if there is a requirement, whatever the doctor gives the instructions, that I should follow that.
Right. 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 So one is that okay, I've got hereditary, that's in my circle of concern. I don't do anything to zero in your circle of influence. Then you start exercising, adding more things, reading up on that, reading up on literature, right? And we do it all the time. We do it all the time. For example, suppose your son is going for an interview for a job. Whether he gets a job or not is in your, you're very much concerned with your son. You want him to get a job. Is it in your circle of influence? Maybe not. Maybe you're a doctor and your son is an engineer. You don't even, you can't even teach him how to give, the interview. However, you will try to increase your circle of influence. You will call up your engineer friends who work in that company where he's applying and tell them that your son is applying. Can you guide them on what sort of questions get asked and things like that? So you're increasing your circle of influence. That is one way. Other way, and the easier route, is you pray to Krishna. When you're not able to influence anything, what can you do? You just pray to Krishna and he will help. The more that you surrender to Krishna, Krishna will come and fill up and make your blue circle green, because then Krishna is helping you go there. Right? So things will happen to a person's life.
Yes,
They will happen, ups will come, downs will come. There'll be things which are, in the blue area of the circle of concern. I cannot do anything. But if you are focused on Krishna, and here's the interesting thing. Here's the interesting thing, and let me just go back to the verse that I had brought up there, um, which I had stopped sharing with all of you. So let me bring up there. And so it's very nice thing Prabhupada is saying in the purport there for this verse. But one who is fixed in Krishna consciousness is not affected by good and evil because he is simply concerned with Krishna, who is all good, absolute. His circle of concern only includes things to do with Krishna consciousness. That's what he is, right? Such consciousness in Krishna situates one in a perfect transcendental position, technically called samadhi, right? That's the best concern that you have. So every time that you look at anything that is happening, try to tie it back again to Krishna, to see it from the transcendental perspective, whatever is happening, right? That's
This
your concern. So yeah, just let me. So you will see that although it might look like in a material life, you're not affected by good or evil. It's not that we don't get affected by good and evil. I'm not saying that. It's not that. It's not that we just become robots with no, senses, no feelings, or nothing like that. What I'm just saying is that when you are, whenever and whatever that you are doing um, in your, as you are embodied over here, right? So you will get emotions, right? It's very natural for us to get emotions, but your emotions that you're going through in your life, those emotions you submit, you surrender your emotions to a higher purpose. Higher purpose. Tattenu kampam susakshi mikshamano. I deserve worse, but because God, it is your will, so I've submitted my emotions. And then I stay sthitapagya. Then that bad situation doesn't affect me because I'm saying, oh, it was Krishna's plan. Because I have got that surrender which is there to Krishna. On the other hand, this was about how to handle sorrow, how to handle joyousness. Prabhupada used to feel very happy when somebody came and gave him the book distribution scores, right? Or when we are in the temple here, we are doing fundraising. Somebody comes and donates a lot of money. Everybody claps and they're joyful. Are they not supposed to be joyful? Are they supposed to be a sitpagya and say, no, I'm going to stay with a stiff upper lip and no smile on her face? No, right? Why? Because now here you have dovetail everything that you do with Krishna. You're raising money for Krishna. That's why you are happy. If you're unable to raise money for Krishna, it's okay for you to be unhappy, but that is something which is happening on a transcendental plane, right? So that's what I'm saying, that whenever you're facing things like this, you submit your emotions to a higher purpose and a higher cause. Go up. And once you start looking from the up, or being connected to somebody who's up, it makes a world of a difference. Now, Sukumal Matiji.
No, I was just saying this verse also has a similarity with the chapter 14, 22 to 25, like not affected by
Yes,
and
yes,
so
Yeah.
very true. Very good connection. Yes. So it's a huge, and then chapter 12 of Bhagavad Gita, of course, is there, right? So 2, 12, 14, all the chapters are interconnected and linked here.
Mataji, I just want to ask something. Means, Mataji, nowadays sometimes means I am very concerned about that, my health. Whether I will will I be able to continue the devotional service, or there are so many creatures to read, so many books. So will I be able to finish that? So it's a good thought, Mataji, or it's a bad thought? I don't know. I'm affected by emotional.
Yeah. So affected by Bashana, you're spreading the virus, huh? Well, you know what? I can understand that in the beginning one can have those kind of things. And so what is going to happen once you finish the books? The reality is that we just go back and read the books again. And Prabhupada said, don't worry, that people will come and write. So many books will be written. And you will, Prabhupada just said, focus on a few books. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nectar of Devotion. Like that. He listed a few books. You read them. We read only that. And so specifically when I distribute Srimad Bhagavatams to people, they look at the 18 volumes that we land at their home, and they look at that and they're completely, flabbergasted. They say, how am I ever going to read all that? And we tell them that Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna personified. The first two cantos are his lotus feet. The second, third, and fourth canto are his thighs. The fifth canto is his navel. Like that, we go up, right? And so, if you were to die reading canto 1 and canto 2, where were you when you died? Can you tell me?
In the lotus feet of the Lord.
There you go. So, why is the worry to finish it?
No, Mataji,
The best
like
thing, yeah.
we are living, but we are not in a position. The health is not good, so that means sometimes something happens with. Suppose the eyes are not working properly, we cannot see. Like in this kind of condition. So
Exactly.
suppose, yeah,
Yes, that worry is coming. And when the worry is coming, it's outside your circle of influence.
yes,
And we are going to die is outside the circle of influence. And what these chapters are telling us, and we have to remind ourselves that devotional service is a continuum. It continues from one life to another life to another life to another life. So big deal if you didn't read the Bhagavatam, big deal if you could not finish all that. I will do the best according to the time, the place, and the circumstances. According to that, you have to give the best. Like remember that little squirrel who was helping Lord Ramchandra, right? How much was she? What type of stones was she bringing to build the bridge across the ocean? She had a tiny little stone that doesn't help. On the other hand, the Vanar was bringing really big stones, and they were helping build that. But Lord Ramchandra saw that and appreciated that, and said that it's not about how much you give. It's about how much do you give according to your capacity. For example, a Mataji sent me $5, the other day. And she said, I really want that, this money to go. And this is the only money that I have. $5 she had, and all of it she gave. 100%. Now there could be millionaires. I go and beg them for money and they might just give me $5. There are instances where it has happened. So Krishna is seeing all that. So it's not about how much you give, it's how much you keep for yourself. And that is what this verse is. The verse is again saying that your concern should always be towards Krishna. The moment I start keeping things for myself, the concern is towards me. Atmendriya Priti. I'm concerned whether I'll enjoy or not. Right? But the moment we are thinking and doing things for Krishna, then it completely changes the equation there, right? So don't worry. Stop worrying about whether you will live or not. Worry itself will make you die sooner. Just be in the moment. Past, Sutapa, you cannot change.
no,
And
yeah,
future, you do not know. But what you have right now is the present. It's a gift of the God. That's why it's called present. It's a gift of the Lord. Make the most of it. Who knows? I mean, like 10 years ago, you didn't even know that you'd be sitting in this class, did you? So there you go. Be positive and hopeful, right? Things change.
thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, yeah. You live a long life, don't worry.
No, Mataji, it's not about life. It's about
Live a
like
long, good life.
if I'm living, but the health is deteriorating. That's what my concern is.
Don't worry,
Whether I'll
even
be
about the
able to
health.
continue.
Yeah, even about the health, don't worry. It's not about scriptures. Scriptures are meant to help you to pray to the Lord. My mom was on the bed for 5 years, last 5 years of her life, and she was spiritual. She was a Mayavadi, but she was very spiritual. And so, a few days before her death, the only thing she could do was to blink her eyes. And I asked her this question. I said, "Mom, do you pray?" And she blinked her eyes and said, "Yes." And that's when I just thought that she was a grandma living with my brother, with two very naughty kids. And so if she was alive and kicking, she would have spent the whole time looking after those two kids and not have time to pursue in devotional service. But God put her on the bed and said, now how about, you pray to me 20 hours a day. So, even bad health is not a deterioration to devotional service. We might think I might not be able to pick up the book, but then your desire to pray to the Lord will become even stronger. And then you'll be able to focus. So
Yes, Mata. I just wanted to know that. Yeah,
yes.
thank you.
So the future is it's outside. It's in your circle of concern. It's not your circle of influence. You cannot, predict when you are going to die. Yes, you make good, you sleep properly, you eat properly, exercise properly. Those are in your circle of influence. But when exactly is death going to come because of some hereditary thing? Well, you could be very healthy, but you could still die. Tell me some ways why a healthy person can die.
In an accident.
In an accident, exactly. Yeah. So you see, Things are not in your hands at all. When that other drunkard is going to come and hit me,
Right.
right?
Mataji, this reminds me of like devotees never bewildered because there is like a auspicious and inauspicious time for mystic to pass away, right?
Yes.
But devotee doesn't care about.
Yes. Nati siti parthajanan yogi muhyati kaschana. Right? After describing that, if you dive when the sun is on the 6th on the north, and then a moon is in the waxing, and then you are in this part of the month, and you are in the morning part, you die, and then you go to higher planets. We're not looking at going to higher planets or lower planets. We are going to go low Vrindavan. Straight.
My grandmother used to say something on this. She said, like, there is no better time for doing, like, there is no good Shubh Murat for doing inauspicious thing, and there is no good Murat for doing auspicious things.
Very badly.
Exactly.
Hats off to
Yes.
your grandma. And on that wonderful
Yes.
note, we will stop this class because I'm 8 minutes into it. Thank you. And now, dear ladies, before I depart, I just wanted to tell you all that if there's something that you wanted to speak, please type it out on the WhatsApp group. I won't be able to take it right now. And the second thing is that Sutapa Mataji will be sending out a note on how you're going to handle the Thursday class. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaha Gaur Premarande Hari Hari Bol.
Thank
Hari
you,
Bol.
Mataji.
Hari Bol.
Thank you,